Okay, so this is the Stanleys at 962 Backwoods Trail. So what we're looking to do is kind of modified how the street side drainage, grading, whatever you want to call it, goes. So this is the east corner of the property. Goes pretty steep. I don't think there's anything so much to do here. As you work your way down to the first driveway, you can kind of see there's a small, super buried culvert under there. And that kind of leads to a pretty significant little divot, speed bump, whatever you want to call it, that just gets bigger and bigger as you get to this side. So, sorry, this is going to be kind of long, but I figure since I'm not here yet to show you, or if you can see, but it bounces up pretty good. Anyways, problem is we can't get in the driveway. The width is a little too narrow to turn a big old truck around. So ideally what we'd like to do is get this, maybe rip this whole thing out so you can put a regular culvert in, and then when you rebury it, regrade it so it's more or less smooth from the street, or at least a regular, continuous incline instead of a big ass speed bump. And then over here would be the most grading, which I would like to think we could, this area right here, bring this down, bring this all down level so we'd actually be able to drive in here as well as all the way over here. So that would take some regrading. This is where the other culvert, or that upper end, comes out, right down here behind this rock, which I love. So I don't know if it's probably prudent to just run a culvert all the way to the end, which is another 100 feet, 50 feet down there. I'm bad at estimating. Or just end the culvert here, because this area is fine. Nothing really wrong here. This is another driveway that goes into the west side back of the property. This is another pile of rocks that I don't quite understand. So ideally, if we could take these rocks and just move them over, move them in. So again, we can kind of drive in this way, have a nice big way to drive in this way, or at least, a wider angle to come in. Okay, so maybe this is where another culvert would need to be installed to achieve the same thing. Instead of this big damn hump, it's about 1.5 feet high, trying to get over it from an extremely narrow road, excuse me, we'd like to be able to, kind of more smoothly go in there. And then this side right here, same thing. If we can widen this out, bring it down kind of this way, smooth all that out, so now this whole thing is a nice, easy transition from the street to the property. This area here is kind of like a raised area, so we don't really need to do anything here. Besides, again, if you think it'd be smart to rip this out, put a culvert in, and then build it back up kind of the way it is. This is the third driveway here, so it turns into a big loop, which is cool. We just moved in here, which is cool, but again, utterly useless. Okay, it's too narrow to get anything in here. It's too big of a speed bump. That, embarrassingly, is where I buried the truck the first weekend I tried to get in and out of here. And I really do know how to drive a truck. Anyways, this little part of fence right here is ours. Right, this is the end of the property line right here. So ideally, what would be cool, I'm gonna pause you again because there's traffic. Okay, back with you. So ideally, what I'd like to do here is even take this little bit of part of fence out, but again, smooth the transition. So I got a nice big angle that we can turn in on. All this crap goes away, and then build it up to where it comes way down here. Gives me some way I can kind of smoothly go in there. Okay. As you can see, again, another giant speed bump, pile of rocks. No idea. But on this side, same thing. If this big pile of rocks can be moved out, even that tree, this little bitty guy right here, had to come out. I don't really care. But what I'd ideally like, again, is to have this angle, right? So that I got a nice big sweeping mouth to get into this driveway. So ideally, that's what I'm looking for, is possibly having to put culverts in, getting these transitions smoothed out so a freaking car would be able to get in here and use the land. Thanks.